Assistant General Secretary of the United Union, Tony Burke. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to be with you.
Thank you. The removal of Mr. Gergerlioğlu's immunity in the Turkish parliament followed immediately by a prosecutor lodging a case at the Constitutional Court for the closure of the HDP is being described as a coup by many others. Do you agree with that, first of all? And what is your comments on this? What do you think Turkish state aiming? Very short, very briefly.
Well, very briefly, we agree with that. I think that what the government are doing is trying to shut down all opposition in Turkey, including political parties, including political activists, and of course trade unions. As we know, there's attacks going on all the time on trade unions. And what I want to say is that, as we've already said yesterday to some of the Turkish press, this is an absolute outrage. This is an attack on democracy. This is the government trying to create a one-party state and to turn the clock back to darker times. The reality is that Turkey is an important country. And in the UK, the Conservative government have said that one of the countries that they want to look to try to reach a trade agreement with is Turkey. And I am of the view, and so is our union, and so is the trade union movement in Great Britain, that an agreement on trade with Turkey is very important for the Turkish economy. But we can't and we shouldn't be doing a deal with a government who rides roughshod over democracy, who is attacking trade unions, who is attacking opposition parties, and who is doing all they can to dismantle structures that everywhere else would apply.
Another significant development, actually, is that the speculations on social media about the well-being of Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan. There are rumors that he is not alive, but no lawyer or family members are allowed to visit him or get any sort of information regarding his well-being. So, what is your comments about that? Very short, very briefly. What is Turkey trying to do with isolating Mr. Öcalan?
Well, there's no information, as you say, that we have looked and kept in touch with our comrades in Turkey to find out what is going on. There's been very little coverage in the international media, except the same as you've just said. Social media has commented that Öcalan may actually no longer be alive, or maybe in a more difficult situation with his health. We know he's not been well. So, what are the government trying to achieve? They're trying to achieve a blockage of news on what's going on. It creates uncertainty. They can tell whatever lies they like at any time. And I think that they've got to come clean and tell the world exactly what is happening. When I've appeared on your programs before, I've said this before to you, that Öcalan is the Mandela of the Middle East, and he would be the only person who would be able to bring some peace to the region. And for the government to keep him in isolation, in prison on an island, is outrageous, and to deny him his human rights of having legal representation. And I believe that he should be released, and he should be released as soon as is possible, particularly now if he is in need of health care. Then they've got to release him on humanitarian grounds. I don't think they're going to do that, because I think we do have in Turkey a regime that does not care.
General Secretary of the TSSA, Manuel Cortes, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, delighted to be with you.
Thank you. The removal of Mr. Gergerlioğlu's immunity in the Turkish parliament followed immediately by a prosecutor's lodging a case at the Constitutional Court for the closure of the HDP is being described as a coup by many others. So do you agree with that? What is your comments on this? And
Well, what is
do you think Turkey is a democratic state?
Well, what is very clear is that democracy is in real peril within Turkey. Clearly, the actions of the Turkish government are not what you expect of a democratic country which has a legal system that is there to ensure that all its citizens can exercise their rights. So I would agree with what you've just said, that what's happening in Turkey is a coup, and what we need is for the international community to put pressure and put big pressure on the Turkish government to ensure that democracy is restored.
Thank you. Another significant development is the speculations on social media about the well-being of Kurdish leader Öcalan. What is Turkey trying to achieve by isolating Mr. Öcalan?
He should have never been in jail in the first place. I think he's the legitimate leader of the Kurdish people, and as such, he should be at liberty. And what the Turkish government should be doing is sitting down with him and negotiating a peace deal to ensure that Kurdish people can go along with a peaceful business without having to fear the repression of the Turkish state. Clearly, I hope that the news that he's not well or he might be dead is not true, because I think he's pivotal to ensure that the Kurdish people have got a voice going forward. But if sadly he has died, I tell you, there will be no peace in that region of the world until the aspirations and the very legitimate aspirations of the Kurdish people are met.
Dear Manuel Cortes, General Secretary of the TSSA, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your comments today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And I really hope that democracy is restored in Turkey soon, and that the legitimate aspirations of the Kurdish people are met.